Samael, the poison of God, who, at the beginning of time, was located next to the throne of the Almighty, next to the 6 strongest archangels of the heavenly hosts, being him, the 7th archangel, defender of the heavens. The Archangel Samael is considered by many as a good angel, while for many others he is a heartless, evil angel. However, the truth is that this angel is neither good nor evil, but rather a righteous angel. For Samael is described as an angel who does his work regardless of the title that possessed a man or a divinity. It is said that this imposing angel revolutionized the heavens, being branded as a selfish archangel, the dark archangel who snatched human life without hesitation, without trembling. Hence, he is known as the angel of death. It is said that Samael was the one sent by God to finish with those who do not repent of their sins. And for Samael to snatch the breath of life was quite a difficult job, and it was necessary to deliver the judgment consciously of the acts throughout the life of a human being. It is said that God gave the order to annihilate the sinners, and that Samael, obedient to the divine orders, would plant the hour of death to the ungodly. Thus, Samael appeared before the future sinful souls as a frivolous being, carrying a long and sharp sword that instantly removed it from its sheath, revealing the dangerous shiny tip, from which a crystalline drop of poison sprouted, the well-known poison of God. One of the most popular stories about the Archangel Samael says that he was the supreme chief of the 5th heaven, where he ruled over 2 million celestial angels, who were known as Grigori. During the creation, like many of the flamboyant divine angels, Samael was annoyed with the dispositions of God, because God, when creating from dust the first man on earth, said that everyone, including Samael, should worship Adam. God gave the announcement to all the orders of angels, saying that Adam would soon be like one of them, and as soon as he gave him knowledge he was to be worshipped as a god. To Samael, such words were sharp daggers, for he did not understand how a mere mortal man, formed of clay, would achieve something that even he did not possess. Besides, Samael considered himself to be of a superior race, so to worship an inferior being was truly madness. As the days went by, God became aware of Samael's resentful behavior, and the influence he showed before the angels under his command, so he sent him to defeat the demon that lived on Mars, to distract him. However, Samael did not obey the designs of God, because, with the great dissatisfaction and feeling of injustice that dominated him, he was not able to serve God. Thus, he told the angels in his charge that what God did was not worthy, and that giving so much relevance to an inferior being was not pleasing. Likewise, he said that, if God continued giving the divine power to Adam, he would disobey each one of the divine orders, because he cannot venerate an inferior being, since while Adam was created with clay, Samael was already a perfect and eternal being. And so, he ended by saying, "May he worship me." Upon hearing Samael's words full of jealousy, the Archangel Michael told him that he should follow God's designs, since he is only a powerful being capable of ending creation itself. He also told him to beware of God's wrath, for it had no pity or mercy. Samael immediately let out a small laugh and told Michael, raising his voice, that he would look for a star high in the sky and make it his throne, consecrating himself as a being equal to or more powerful than the highest. The Archangel Michael did not control his anger and threw Samael from above, sending him straight to the earth, for he had offended the name of God, for no one should consider himself superior to the Creator. Soon after, God ordered the heavenly hosts to descend to earth to worship Adam as God himself. And so Samael rebelled against God and said, "Who will never worship someone so inferior when we have been created from the great splendor of your glory? Who then deserves to be worshipped? Put us to the test, and we will show you that this being of clay does not deserve your glory," said Samael. Thus, with great serenity, God said to him, "Although you do not believe it, this being of dust surpasses them, because the knowledge has been given to him." Samael was very angry, and his resentment towards God was growing. Then God told him that, to test him and Adam, they should say the names of the beasts that originated on earth, and whoever does it will be worthy of reverence, for his wisdom will be greater. Already in Eden, Adam saw a radiant light, approaching little by little, and behind it a much more resplendent light. They were Samael and God, who by Samael's one came to test his wisdom. Adam, like God himself, bowed to Samael, and God told him to stand up, for he was not the Creator. Then in front of both, God said that they should say the name he had given to the animals. He commanded Samael to gather the animals and put them in line. And so it began. He challenged Samael against God. Once the animals were arranged, God asked both of them who would be the first to name the beasts. And Samael answered him, saying, "I will be the first because I am older and therefore much wiser." God approved the request and addressed Samael, saying, "If you succeed in naming all the animals, Adam will revere your wisdom. But if you do not succeed and he does, you will have to revere his." So, the jealous angel started. In front of him, there were some oxen, and God asked him, "What are their names?" Samael changed his expression of confidence to one of nervousness, for he could not find the name of the animal, and in this way, he went to each of the following animals in the long line that he had ordered. When he had finished, God told him, "Now it is Adam's turn, and now you will understand why he is like us." Inside Samael's being, he felt a great fury that led him to think of ungodly acts against his Creator. However, at that moment he kept quiet and clenched his fist, clenching his painful feelings of anger. So God called Adam to stand in front of the row of beasts and said to him, "Well, Adam, open your lips and tell me the name of this animal." And so instantly, Adam answered him by saying, "That is an ox." Samael was perplexed, for it was the first beast, and he knew its name. In this way, Adam continued naming all the animals in the line. One by one all his answers were correct because God nodded approving what Adam said. The angel Samael, for his part, writhed in anger and helplessness, because he realized that God had given him the understanding of things, and disconsolately began to break down in tears. God saw him and immediately said to him, "Do you weep?" And so, from the ground, Samael arose in great anger, and said to him, "You have given understanding to a creature formed from dust, and you do not want me to weep?" Then God looked at him with anger and said to him, "Evil angel, you have been created from my glory, and in this way, you behave with your God. Just as you have been amazed at the wisdom of Adam, I want you to know that he is going to foresee the birth of his descendants, and will be the one who will give the name to each of them, until the end of time." Already in the heavens, God gathered the angels who revealed themselves together with Samael and expelled them from the kingdom of the heavens, throwing them to the earth. In the end, Samael was pushed with the wrath of God, and in his eagerness not to be exiled clung to the wings of the Archangel Michael, who was in front of him witnessing the divine punishment. Thus, God, upon seeing Michael's hands scratching his wings, detached him with a single finger and threw him with more force, and ended up telling him, "On earth you are condemned to suffer, and you will never return to the heavens, not even to raise your eyes." As the days went by, God continued with the creation, and each day that passed he gave a ray of wisdom to Adam and his wife. According to the myth, it is said that when Adam was created from clay, together with a woman, at the same time, according to the stories, it is said that this was the first woman Adam had, was called Lilith. On earth, Samael was looking for a way to challenge the Creator and above all to destroy what he had formed. He went to Eden every day and observed with great stealth every action of Lilith and Adam, and always noticed something strange in the woman, because she was not intimidated by God. From that moment on, Samael felt attracted to the beautiful Lilith, who watched the dark angel from afar. One day, God came down to Eden and told Lilith that she had to be faithful to Adam, and above all she had to obey every order he gave her, as well as comply with all the requirements he imposed. However, Lilith considered what God said a great outrage because she considered that both had been created from the same clay, at the same time, and that both had the same rights and relevance. God did not like the way Lilith expressed her thoughts and told her, "Woman, you must understand that you are inferior to man." For Lilith, the crude words that God said awakened in her a horrendous, uncontrolled anger, which made her reveal herself. So, God told her that she had only two options. The first was to submit to her husband Adam, and the second was to be expelled from the Garden of Eden forever. Lilith did not care much about the garden and left, heading to the shores of the Red Sea where she settled. Soon after, God decided to create a new woman for Adam, because he was constantly complaining about his loneliness. So from Adam's being, he took a rib and some mud and gave birth to a new companion, Eve. From the darkness Samael observed everything that happened until one day, both fell in love, becoming spouses, who begot thousands of demon children with which they opened the way to darkness, creating the Avernus as a powerful kingdom as the kingdom of heaven itself. God, seeing that Lilith and Samael plagued the earth with their children of dark spirits, ordered them to kill 100 children every day for a long time. However, Lilith and Samael continued to have many children. According to the story, it is said that God had the dark angel castrated to prevent his reproduction. It is also said that when Lilith saw her husband castrated, she left him forever. Although in other versions it is said that both ruled the darkness for thousands of years to overthrow God from his throne. According to Hebrew beliefs, it is said that Samael is simultaneously the prince of all angels and the great chief of all demons, and that this powerful angel had power over the heavens, the sciences, and the planets. It is also said that Samael proposed to create another world, to take the position of creator, which would make him a demiurge, Samael being his third name. Thus, for the Hebrews, it is said that it was the Archangel Samael who planted the tree of wisdom in the Garden of Eden, because he wanted Adam to break God's laws, and wanted him to sin at any cost. According to the myth, it is said that Samael tempted Eve to eat the fruit, and thus lead Adam to commit the same sin. It is said that the serpent was the evil disguise of Samael. According to other stories, Samael is said to have seduced Eve to make her fall into sin, and as soon as he succeeded in making her fall into temptation, they had a son whom Eve raised with Adam and named Cain. In several stories it is said that Samael was the prince of darkness, and that right at creation he opposed God and his design, "Let there be light." God had said that he would create a world from light and clarity, and Samael would have told him that why not include darkness and darkness in his creation, because it was the most sensible thing to do as a prince. For God, Samael's words conveyed arrogance and contempt, so he told him from his throne to be careful, for he was capable of destroying him with a single shout. Samael did not take into account the words of God, because he was deaf, and intervened in the creation, producing darkness, generating darkness and the abyss. Seeing the disobedience of Prince Samael, God gave a heavenly cry that threw him from above, exiling him and all the angels under his charge, and locked them in a dungeon where they still remained suffering, with emaciated faces and sealed lips for all eternity. According to the rabbis, Samael is also considered the angel of death and is represented as a dark being of a beautiful figure, covered by a black robe from head to toe, and he is also depicted carrying a powerful sword and a divine bow with fiery arrows. It is said that after the exile of Samael and the other fallen angels, the denomination of Grigori as Samael was removed, referring to him as Satan, the one who is against God, the prince of darkness.